actually less of a season, and they're still putting up the same numbers they did in a regular season.
Literally.
We're going to move on to
Big
NFL.
trade in the NFL this week, boys.
Big trade.
Stafford to the Rams. Boys,
So here's my thing on this.
There's a reason he went. There's a reason he didn't go to the Patriots, and I know the reason.
So, before I want to get your take on this too, boys, is that it wasn't just Stafford for Goff. It was Stafford for Goff and 2 first-round picks in addition to Goff.
Yep.
So they're saying that Stafford is that much better of a quarterback than Jared Goff is today, that he's worth 2 additional first-round picks. I don't agree with that one bit. Even Stafford for Goff straight up, I get Stafford's probably the better quarterback. He probably gives you a better chance at a title. But I don't know that you give up your future, give up 2 first-round picks for him. That's a lot in addition to
I thought it should have been
than 26-year-old quarterback.
I thought it was Stafford for Goff, and I even thought that the value there was kind of misbalanced. But having a Stafford for Goff Stafford Goff 1 pick, I am not hugely on board, but I get Stafford and Goff 2 picks is a no-go for me. I think we all agree that if you're making these decisions. I get Stafford is older. Stafford has more experience. He's probably got you the better chance short term to get you to a playoff run. But Goff has got he was strong with the Rams. But again, I'm honestly really surprised that they traded Goff. I'm going to say it because Sean McVay, that Rams team, they went to that Super Bowl.
I'm not surprised. Go ahead, though.
You're not surprised? All right, Justin, what are you, surprised or not surprised?
No, I kind of agree. I mean, Sean McVay and Jared Goff, we said it a few weeks ago, that they were undefeated with the lead after halftime for their entire 37-0 or something.
They have a strong
they just
defense.
Well together.
And that's why they Super Bowl
is because of the defense, because they have one of the best defenses in the league, and they want to, while they have that defensive unit, they want to bring in a win now quarterback, and I understand that.
Who's going to get them a stronger offense?
In a similar spot, to be honest, because the Patriots have that great championship type defense, but we don't have an offense to go with it. So I get that the Rams are trying to do that because they're in a win now situation.
And
I
you know what?
understand.
And I think Stafford said at the end of the day, because you have to pick between 2 teams that have strong defense, and that's a great point. Because the Pats and I think the Rams were on his radar. Now, the reason that he didn't go to the Pats, and I'm kind of pissed about it, is because Matt Patricia just got picked up by the Pats. And Matt Patricia and Stafford don't want to be together anymore, especially after their big fallout in Detroit and not being able to win anything.
Yeah, and did you see what Matt Stafford said about the Pats? Actually, he said, I'm willing to be traded to every team except New England. So he was literally, we were the one team he did not want to go to.
He didn't want Matt Patricia. But I'll tell you, if Matt Patricia wasn't picked up by us, I'm 100% sure. I'm 99.9% sure that Stafford had us on his top 3. If before Matt Patricia came in, and Matt Patricia came, I think a week before Stafford got traded.
Which I don't want to completely switch gears, Jerry, before you get your word in, but I'm not thrilled that we even brought Matt Patricia back. I wasn't really loving that move because of the way he went to Detroit and poached a bunch of Patriots with him. But that's a different thing.
Look, he poaches the Patriots players, so we've lost a lot of players to not only Detroit, but also Tennessee because of Vrabel.
Tennessee with Mike Vrabel.
And Miami. And Miami
with fucking Brian Flores. It's ridiculous. So here's my thing. All the coaches just take our players with them.
So here's my thing. I understand Matt's coming back, but if Matt comes back and he's just not the same guy that he was, I really don't even want him back at the end of the day. I was happy with what we had for a coaching staff. I just think we needed the quarterback position fixed and a couple more things on offense. But we bring him back. He's a guy that knows the system. At the end of the day, I'm not going to complain. I'm a little pissed off about what, the fallout and what we had, the decision he made. But I'll let Jerry get his word in. But I'm more pissed, too, because I would rather Stafford than Patricia in this case. I would much rather have Stafford than Patricia. There's no doubt any Pats fan is sitting here just going, there's no reason why Stafford wouldn't have come to the Pats now. But now it's because of Patricia.
Yeah.
So Jerry, you get your word in. But
I just don't get the reasoning behind. So I get Patricia coming back. Like the whole thing didn't work out. So he wants to get back to his old self. To me, it only makes sense if he can bring back the same fire that he did when he was originally here.
Well, you know why he comes back? Because he knows that Belichick is hopefully going to with him. And when Belichick makes his moves, Belichick will maybe get the Pats back on the map in a couple seasons. Then Patricia will get the notice that he got before. And then Patricia can maybe get another head coaching job because then he can walk away from the nest. And you know the whole fucking thing he's going to play. He's going to do exactly what what's his name did on the offense. I mean, it's what they do. They come running back to Belichick. They suck on his tit and they nurture themselves, wait, and they wait, and they wait. And then they go, no, I'm going to get my milk somewhere else. They go somewhere else. They fuck it up. They come back and Belichick goes, come here, boy.
That's the only
That's
reason
how it works.
I'm mad. Like, I guess he tried that coaching thing, and I'm not going to blame him for it. But if you're not bringing the same shit, don't fuck up what we already have going. So that's my point of view. Again, I think I would rather have Stafford over Patricia.
Oh, no doubt. Everybody would.
So direct your thoughts back to Rams or Lions, Jerry, though.
So
What are your thoughts on that trade?
2 first-rounders, I don't know. But definitely one, and here's why. We don't know what Goff is yet. Goff could be really good.
All we know about Goff is that he's a 26-year-old that already made a Super Bowl appearance. That's my thoughts on it. People are way too low on Goff, if you ask me personally.
That's true. I agree with that.
I think people should be more low on Wentz of that draft class from me. Just because Wentz injuries, Wentz has had an attitude problem now with the Eagles, and the Eagles system is not working with him, I don't think, and he's going to definitely want out soon. I think Goff is the guy that has won that draft class.
Well, Wentz got so much smoke blown up his ass. I think it just got to him. But besides,
it did get to him. No, it did get to him.
Besides the fact, yes, Goff has been to a Super Bowl. I just think they want to try something new. I don't think they saw him in the Super Bowl and they saw that he didn't put up a ton of points. And I just think that they know Sean McVay is a good coach, or they're still finding out. And I think with a guy like Stafford, you kind of already know what he is. You're not going to get anything maybe more from him, but you're definitely not going to get anything less. You have a defense that's the best in the league with Jalen Ramsey leading.
They're going to be back in that playoff position.
You need to see what you can do with that defense with a reliable QB, personally. So I'm not going to be mad at the deal because I think it was a good move. Do I think you should have gave 2 first-rounders? Maybe not, because if Stafford thing doesn't work out, you're screwed. But I think that taking a chance on Matthew Stafford over Goff, I'll take it. Especially with Sean McVay. Like, if Sean McVay left, I would have been like, yeah, just keep Goff. We'll see what he can do. But you got a great coach. You got a great defense. That offense is really the only thing keeping you from a Super Bowl. I think you have to try it. I think you have to do what you can. And I'm surprised, but I don't know. I just think
you have nothing to lose here. You have nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
You make a playoff appearance and you hopefully get to a Super Bowl again, or you don't and you get picks back hopefully in the future and you get a new offensive going and you're going to have to make a new defense.
And I think the thing they think too is Stafford always hasn't had the greatest history with coaches. Like, it's not like he has these.
And Sean McVay is very good with his players.
Yeah, and I just think that by seeing what Matthew Stafford can do on a good football team, I think will be very good for him. And I think that's what they're thinking.
I'm rooting for him at the end of the day. I am rooting for him.
Yeah, I think this is one of those trades where if I look past the picks in a way, it's good for both sides, where the Rams are going to be right back in contention now because Stafford is extremely underrated. He's a great throwing quarterback. Like, this guy is extremely talented. His arm is great. And he's 32, which isn't young, but that NFC has a lot of those old heads. Rodgers, Breeze, Brady are all going to be out of there. That NFC is going to be clearing out, and there's going to be room for the Rams to start winning that NFC.
He's going to be the new.
And like you said, Sean McVay, that Rams team has everything going for it. They just needed a good throwing quarterback, and now they have one. And I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be a playoff team. And if you're the Lions, Stafford's been great for you, but you guys have never had more than 5 wins in 100 years. So, I mean, I don't know why you even – this is not a good time to have a fresh start where you bring in a 26-year-old quarterback that has some playoff experience that can maybe be your next franchise quarterback if you can turn him around. So I think it's a good trade for both sides in a way. I think maybe the picks were a little excessive, but it's a good trade. I'm excited. The
Lions win. The Lions win with those picks. At the end of the day, the Lions get those picks. That helps them to get more players for that offense.
I hope Goff doesn't fall out of the league by 29 years old or whatever. I hope he can really rejuvenate himself and have a good Detroit career.
If he can, and Detroit can get those picks and get good, strong offensive players and defensive players for themselves to put around Goff, that Lions team will be a team that's on the upbuild. And I think the Rams are going to hurt a little bit from those picks. At least they should have kept one of those picks, in my opinion. So they're going to hurt from losing 2 of those. I think we're all in agreement on that. But again, they're going short term here. We can tell. Because I think what their idea is they're keeping Shaw in the long run, and they're hoping to get him something so that they can then put themselves really on that map since that last Super Bowl. Because really all they've been known as is the top defense and nothing else, and they get lost out in the first or second round.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's just something they need to try out. They don't know what Stafford could be. And I think while they got Sean McVay, while they got this defense, again, I think if they were just an average team with an average defense, they might just stick it out with Goff. But they got everything they need right now. I think they just need to try it out.
Take the shot in the dark, honestly. Take the shot in the dark. You got nothing to lose.
The only other
Yeah.
question before I let John talk a little bit about the NHL is where do we think Deshaun Watson's going?
This is a tough one because I've heard rumors of what he's projecting for his
I've
value.
heard multiple things.
And many teams don't have that space. And the few teams that do really don't need a quarterback. And the Pats are one of the teams that need him, and his value is high. Very, very high.
Did you guys hear that he said he wants to go to the New York Jets? Did you hear this?
I did
Yeah,
hear
he
that.
did.
What does that mean,
Which
Deshaun?
is not.
Like, what? Why are you even leaving Houston then? The Jets are worse than the Texans.
Yeah.
Why would you even what?
He has a better
Doesn't make
chance
any
of
sense.
building. He has a better chance of building with the Texans than the Jets.
I actually could not believe that when I saw that.
Yeah,
I just don't know what
That was
could
weird.
possibly.
I
What
didn't
is he
see that
thinking?
too.
My
I
whole
mean,
thing
if
with
he ends
this,
up on the Jets, that's just terrible. I don't even know what to think. Like, I don't. That would be worse than his situation now. Oh,
Nah,
we're gonna have
Everyone
we'll have one of the worst divisions if he gets there. We'll have one of the toughest ones.
yeah.
So
For
here's
sure,
the thing.
actually, with Josh Allen and Deshaun.
I think
yeah.
he might be just trying to like do something with that. Like he's just trying to like.
Honestly,
That's like I think he's trying to become like this messiah, like to try to change. The
Another thing he may do is that he may be trying to say, like, again, I may be completely wrong. I'm really thinking now about what he's doing here because I don't think he actually wants to be on the Jets. But part of me is like he could be like the messiah you're saying, but he could be also trying to say like, hey, Patriots, you don't want to put your value on me and you don't want to pick me up. I'm going to go to the team that's going to have the value and cap space for me, and I'm going to get picked up by them. And that's kind of like for the AFC teams, because I think we agree that he's probably going AFC if he leaves, which he probably is. I think.
Well, who
teams in
knows?
the-
I mean, he probably
we
will
don't
stay
know.
in the AFC.
We don't know, but I think teams in the AFC are going to want to have him on their team that need a quarterback and need a change. And I think he's trying to just show teams that his value is high, and teams like the Jets who need a rebuild are teams that have the cap space and the money to put their value on him. And he wants a team like that because he keeps saying what he wants for a value number, and it's a high number.
I just think
I don't know it because it changes, but
I just think that similar QBs have tried to do what they wanted to with the Jets, where they come in, they're really excited to change the organization around, and then it just gets to them. So I agree with Justin. I think like you're just trying to ride a dead horse. Like I think like you can't do anything at that point. Like there's nothing he can do, and he's better off going to a team that's at least somewhat established. They could be even a little worse than the Texans, but not the Jets. Not a team that's getting
Not the Jets.
I'll
I
say
mean,
right-
that might be the one team other than Houston that you don't want to be on right
Yeah.
now. I mean, what are you thinking?
So
I'll say right now. No, Jerry, you go.
no, go ahead, John.
No, you can go. I was just going to say I want him on the Pats. I just don't think the
No,
Pats.
I
are
mean,
gonna
I
pick
would
him
love
up.
to see him on the Pats. I would love to see him on the Pats. I know it would take a lot. It'd probably take. I mean, we don't really have that piece to be the centerpiece of a trade for him. So it would. But
Well,
the main thing would be
Gilmore
picks.
would probably be.
It could be Gilmore. I mean, yeah, who knows?
I wouldn't
But
wanna-
it would
I
probably
wouldn't wanna-
take. I could see New England giving up more picks than players.
I'll tell you right
in a
now who I
deal like
think it
that,
should
which
be.
I'm okay with. I mean, I'd be willing to
tell
give
you
up
who
part
I
of our
think it
future if we get a young quarterback like Deshaun.
I'll tell you who I think it should be, and again, mind you, this is again we're going back into time, but looking at value here for at least QBs I know off the top of my head that I'm thinking right now. Here's my thing though: if Deshaun goes to the Jets, if Sam Darnold is not within that trade, the Pats definitely need to hop in that deal and try and get Darnold and give the Jets and the other team something with picks. They need to do a three-way trade there where Deshaun goes to the Jets, Sam goes to the Pats, and the Pats send somebody to that other team that's of equal
Or
value.
even if it's
Or-
a completely
or pick.
separate transaction. If Deshaun ends up in New York and Darnold's going to end up being the backup or something, we got to go change that up. and
Then we got to
make a trade
go
and get-
say,
take
Darnold, you want a
Darnold.
starting position, you want a new chance, come to us. We'll give the Jets the picks. But here's another guy that I'm thinking about, because you don't have to give up that much, and you guys may disagree. But he made it to the Super Bowl. But other than that, he's had a pretty bum season. But Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't know what the 49ers are going to do with him, because the 49ers are looking like they want to keep him. But then again, they're giving him mixed signals. I think they're getting under his skin. And for Jimmy Garoppolo, you could just give up picks. They would accept picks, that 49ers team.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Jimmy Garoppolo that bag. So they don't really want that contract on their books anymore. I think that's why they're looking to deal him. And I don't know, what do you guys think about a Garoppolo reunion in New England? I don't know. I mean,
I would freaking love it. I would love
I
it.
would like it too. I would give up
picks for Garoppolo, and I would give up picks for Sam Darnold. That's my two guys.
Justin, you asking, do you think it works?
Well, I just know that Garoppolo, like you said, he made it to the Super Bowl last season. But even so, I still feel like I haven't seen that side of Garoppolo where I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. I don't even really know how he made a Super Bowl.
I agree with that. But the thing I'll say about Garoppolo is I think he's a good QB. Like, I think he's like a decent QB.
I agree. I'd happily have him reunite with Bill.
Yeah, I just think he needs to be in a system where he can be like build around. I don't necessarily think he needs to be the main guy, but definitely a system he can build around. And I would honestly be fine with him. I think under a strict system, he could play well.
I think, like you said, the New England system would be the best spot for him.
I think by coming back and having sort of that chip on your shoulder, like, this guy forced me out, I'm going to reclaim what's mine.
And I made a Super Bowl.
Yeah. If I have a chip on my shoulder, I think he could be good for us. I'd personally
rather command respect. He'd command respect too.
Who? This might be obvious, but who would you rather have? And then we can close the discussion. But who would you rather have, Deshaun or Jimmy? Definitely Deshaun.
We want Deshaun. No. I don't think that's the argument here. I think the argument is, do you want Sam? Because I think Deshaun is going to the Jets probably.
You think he's going? Like, you think that certain?
I think it's pretty. If Deshaun really is saying he wants to go to the Jets, he's going to go to the Jets. Then Darnold's going to be pushed down. And in that case, I think you're looking at equal value here with Darnold and Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think you look at equal value with Deshaun and Jimmy because it's easy. You want Deshaun. It's easy, but we don't have the value for Deshaun. We don't have the value. We'd have to give up.
We could come up with the value.
We have to give up a lot.
We could give up a lot, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it because we'll lose our future picks. Because we'll lose future picks, and that will hurt because then we're going to lose some guys on that team too.
It obviously depends on what the picks are, if it's worth it or not. But to be honest with you, I think I'd be willing to give up a lot of picks for Deshaun Watson. I really would. I would
want to, Justin. But my thing is, I don't think they'll accept.
If your question, John, is Darnold or Garoppolo instead of Deshaun or Garoppolo, because I think we're all on board with Deshaun over Garoppolo. Right. I would take Garoppolo over Darnold, honestly. I do think Darnold isn't over, but I would like Garoppolo to come back at that point.
I want Garoppolo to show us with the chip on his shoulder. I mean, he has the chip on his shoulder. He's been through a couple coaching systems. He now is going to command respect from Belichick because Belichick is the one who ousted him out, or not ousted him out, but the whole franchise basically said.
I think Tom did.
So, I think it was more Tom and Kraft.
It was more Tom.
He could still get along with Bill, I think.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, he's going to get along with Bill. Tom is out now. Tom is out. Tom is in the NFC. I think if Tom comes back again and Jimmy wants out, Jimmy wants to come to that AFC. Jimmy wants to make it to that AFC championship. And if Tom makes it there, Jimmy is going to want to fight Mahomes for the spot. Jimmy's going to want to build the franchise like Mahomes has been building. Jimmy is going to want to make it to a Super Bowl against Brady if he ever can before Brady retires. Jimmy is going to want to beat Brady out of a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that'll happen, but that is what I'm aspiring to do if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo in my head. That's my goal. Is to make Brady look like the guy that made the biggest mistake, and now you have become the next Messiah for that Pats team.
I agree.
You want to make Brady look like Brady should have left that team, and they made a mistake on not letting you.
And I think the Patriots should pursue that. Because I think if you give 49ers their option, they might want to retain him. But I think if the Pats kind of been like, look, we know he's got a big contract. We know, like, you're thinking about dealing
with him. Give him stuff, though.
This is what we'll give you. We'll give you a nice future. And
maybe one guy. Yeah. Maybe one guy. I don't know.
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't want Darnold.
I think Darnold could have. I don't think Darnold's.
I would rather have Darnold than Cam Newton. I'll tell you right now. I'd rather have Darnold.
Yes, I agree. Yes, yeah. I agree with that.
Okay. That's all I need to hear. I think
Darnold's lack of success is a product of being in New York.
It's an organizational thing. It's not a player.
It's not a him thing.
It's organizational.
I do think it's an organizational thing and not a him thing. I really do.
It's gonna if he keeps staying there, it's going to become a him thing because he's not going to play well anymore.
before they got Mekhi Becton in the first round this year, their O-line was literally like historically horrible. And now they finally have one left tackle that can protect them a little bit. But I mean, he's just been miserable. There's nothing going for him in New York. There's absolutely nothing going for him. But so I don't know. We can move on from football though, John. I don't know if you want to take us into some hockey stuff. Go right ahead, because it's been a good week of hockey as well.
We'll go honestly with probably the best game of the whole entire week's, that I've seen is just the Boston Bruins come back down 3-0, and it would have been 4-0 if they had counted that goal before. And one of those goals was from Chara. And I hate seeing a guy score his old team, but if anybody's going to score against us, I'm going to tip my hat to him because it was a nice slapper. It was a nice slapper.
Yeah.
You know, an easy save.
When Chara scored his first of the season too, that was his second against us, but his first, and like the whole Capitals bench like all swarmed and stuff. I was really happy for him. All right, I'm
happy for him because you know what? He's an old guy, and he hasn't always been on our team. He's been on our team for a long time, but he wasn't always on our team. Same with Poppy. So at the end of the day, I understand if this guy is going to want to move on, finish his season with a little bit more money in his belt, especially with the NHL. You don't get much money, and they probably are going to give him more than we were going to give him. We're probably going to give him a 1 year, $1 million, and they probably gave him a 1 year, 1.2.
I don't remember what they ended up giving him. It was close to a minimum. So yeah,
it was close to a minimum, but we would have given him literally the minimum. And it's not because of disrespect; it's because of age, and I'm sure he knew that. And he doesn't have the captaincy there, but I'm sure if he stays for a couple more seasons, because this guy is—I don't know if many of you know, but he is very fit. Like he's old, but
he's jacked, like scarily huge.
He goes to Russia. I don't know if you know this. I watched a thing about it. He goes to Russia. I don't know if his dad's still alive now, but he would work out with his dad, who was a pro wrestler in Russia. He works out with his dad, and he just does fucking boxing exercises, like the Rocky run, the Rocky climb up the rope, the free climb, like in the gym in middle school.
Jeez.
Like he does this shit, and he puts in the effort. He's one of those old guys that at the end of the day, you don't want on your team anymore. But if he's gonna put in the work, and he does, you're going to tip your hat to him.
You know who that reminds me of? And this is a little off topic, and I'll let John continue speaking. But Zach LaVine, have you ever seen Justin? Maybe like the workouts he does with his dad. He does these crazy workouts where he literally goes home, and because he's like, my dad doesn't train me like anyone else does, because his dad just like hounds him, and that's
I have not seen that. Damn.
You should watch.
And I respect guys like that. And I respect Chara for that. And I'm happy for Chara. And I got no bad blood, nothing against him. I was upset about
absolutely
the trade.
no bad blood.
I was upset about him.
Never had bad blood against him.
I was upset about him for leaving. But I at the end of the day, I can't stay mad at him because he went to a great team. And I hope honestly, if the Caps, I don't know what's going to happen this season because the Caps are a great team. Philly's looking like a great team. Boston's looking great. A lot of teams in the East are looking good. So if the Caps were to win and the Bruins were to fall out, I wouldn't want us to lose to the Caps, but if we had no chance of making it at any point, or if we fell out early,
but we do have a chance. We do.
I'm just saying, I would be happy if Chara got another ring on his belt. I don't want OV to get another ring. I would more so want Chara, and I'll get into the Caps lineup because I have a couple things to say about them and the Florida Panthers. But real quick, Oilers huge win. I think it was 8-5 against Vancouver.
Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl just continue to just be ridiculous.
That
duo is insane.
11 combined points. 4 assists from Draisaitl.
I wish they could just be a playoff team, though, man. I really do. And they just can't seem to string together wins.
Here is a stat for you. I'll say this stat for you. Well, I'll say a quick thing about the Bruins again. Don Sweeney, Justin and I are not going to get into it, but assistant general manager now for Canada 2022 Olympics in Beijing. Not my favorite general manager, but good for him.
Not my favorite either, but good for him.
Now let's move on to a nice stat. 10 games have been played in 10 games played, the Ducks roster has 41 points scored. 41 points, goals, assists.
Wow.
11 games played. McDavid and Draisaitl have 43 points. 43 points. McDavid is en route to get 111 points, and Draisaitl is on point to get 103. 103.
And just think about that, because this is not an 82-game season. 56 total games.
Nope. So it's actually less of a season, and they're still putting up the same numbers they did in a regular season.
Literally.
Crazy.
Literally. That's ridiculous, bro. That's crazy.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely
it's
insane.
Unbelievable. And then let me just so that's my whole,
and so right now the Oilers are sitting at the 4 spot, which obviously the top 4 get in.
Yeah.
But they're flirting with falling out, and I feel like at the end, when it's all said and done, they're gonna miss because they just have a habit of always just missing. And it's so
Yep.
painful. Like, you guys have two of the best players in the entire league. If
I
not the
know.
two best. Come on, man. String together some wins.
And let me just say a couple things right now. And I know people probably know this, but I just got to reiterate it because the Panthers are the one team that have not lost a game in
Which
regulation.
is still mind-blowing to me. But, yeah, I know.
And you know what?
Crazy.
I'm not saying that's because they have a great team. They do have a good team. I don't think they're a playoff team, nothing like that. But they are a great team. And the team that they have there, they got Bobrovsky and net. That's a strong man to work around. That's a huge pickup from them. They got Nola Chari. They got Frank Vetrano, two young guys that they picked up from the Bruins.
The
And Tommy
ex-Bruins.
Cross. And Tommy Cross. Tommy Cross was an ex-Bruin.
Is Tommy Cross on Florida, too? I didn't even realize that. A bunch of ex-Bruins down there.
Now you got also Anthony Duclair. He's a great guy. Aaron Ekblad. Unbelievable. Patrick Hornquist. Unbelievable. He had an unbelievable shootout goal.
Yeah.
Alexander Barkov. Huberdeau. Now you got the young guy, Hepanini. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He had his first goal. Keith Yandel, a strong defensive guy who's gonna be your not your captain, but your guy to look at, you know? You have, I mean, just looking at this lineup, there's nothing that I'm scared about.
It's a good team. It's just we'll have to see if they can sustain it. But like you said, it all starts with Bob in between the pipes. I mean,
It
one of
does
the best
start with
goalies in the
Bob in
league.
between the pipes, and he's kept them to going to winning games and going to out of regulation. And then I'm going to look right now at this Caps team. I'm going to talk through it. Jerry, you may not know many of these guys, but you're going to know some. But you got Chara. You got Chara right there. That's a strong.
Starting with Chara.
That's just a strong guy right there. You got Nicholas Backstrom. You've got Evgeny Kuznetsov. You have OV. You have John Carlson. You have Tom Wilson. You have TJ Oshie. You have Vanacek, who is playing great hockey. And you have Samsonov, who's in the pipes after him. And Samsonov's a great guy. And I mean,
He's gotta get healthy.
you got Henrik on the back. That's just an old guy that hopefully will keep your,
Well, prayers are up for him too, because he had open heart surgery. So
I know.
he's all
And
right.
they also have Craig Anderson actually as a goaltender. So
I actually did see that. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
and then
shout out to Trent Frederick for fighting Tom Wilson, who probably is the toughest guy in the entire league.
Oh, yeah.
The other night,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Love Trent Frederick. Love what he's been doing.
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna end with a couple. I mean, you got Van Riemsdyk, Trevor. Still a young guy.
He's the
You
worst
got-
brother. He's the worst brother, no doubt.
He's the worst brother, but you got Vrana. You got Jacob. You got Jacob Vrana.
Jacob
Honestly,
Vrana's
one of
nice.
my nice. Lars Eller, still a great player. Carl Hagelin. I don't know if you know this, but there are
Yeah,
a lot of
I forgot,
guys
yeah.
on this. There are a lot of guys on this Caps team that have been picked up. That they have picked up from Crosby's team, from the Penguins. Sorry.
Yeah,
They got
true, I know.
Schultz. They got Sheary. They got fucking.
Yeah, Connor
Hagelin.
Sherry's there too. Yep.
They got Hagelin, and then who's the other guy they have that I keep forgetting about? They got fucking. They got Sprong. Oh my god.
The team is nice, no doubt about it, and they're winning a lot of games because of it. They're winning a lot of games because of it. Yeah. That was a good week of hockey, man.
It's
Good
a
week of
great
hockey.
week of hockey, and this Caps team is looking strong. Although I have seen, and I agree with it, I think TJ Oshie is going to the Kraken. With the contract he has and with the strength with the Caps.
That's actually a nice shout, though.
So we can get into that again next week. We're going to be kind of going over in a minute, but TJ Oshie, he's in not in the shadow
One of
of
those
a lot of guys.
where with the money he makes, like you said, they might not protect him.
Yeah.
You're not going to
For
want to
what he
protect a
brings.
guy like that because you're going to want to protect. If you can, but you're going to want to protect Backstrom, OV. You're going to want to protect, some of your younger guys like Vrana. You don't want Vrana going to the Kraken. You want to keep him over Oshie, in my opinion. Also, Oshie hasn't been having breakout seasons year in and year out. Vrana's been the guy there on that team. TJ's a great option, but if you got to get rid of somebody with contract, everything, TJ's that guy. Kraken will pick up a great piece there for themselves to kick it off. I've actually seen in some mock drafts. We can actually do one in the future. If you guys want,
We'll have one that gets closer to the mock draft.
Once we know the whole rules and the people, but TJ Oshie will be a great guy for them to get around. They've actually have a lot of great pieces in the mocks that I've seen that they could pick up, and we'll end there. But that's just it for me.
Yeah. Actually, I have a quick stat of the week, like usual, that I'll get into real quick. You guys, this one you might be aware of this, but it's to the extent of how crazy this is. I'll just get into it right now. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, everybody knows they had a lot of talent come through in the past decade or whatever. Fine. But listen to this. OKC in the last decade, last 10 seasons, these are the players that have come through. Just listen to these names. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Chris Paul, Victor Oladipo, DeMontis Sabonis, Jeremy Grant, Steven Adams, Danilo Gallinari, Serge Ibaka, Dennis Schroeder, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's 14 all-star caliber players in 10 seasons. 8 of them are actually all-stars. 3 of them were MVPs, and 1 of them remains on the rosters. It remains on the roster, being Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 0 rings for the franchise.
Can I just say right now?
I mean, everybody knows this sort of, but to actually look at a list of their players.
Well, no.
Kidding me, OKC.
I'll say right now. When you said those, once you said their names, I was like, oh shit, you're right. But if you asked me to name them, I would have only named like the first 5 you named.
Yeah,
Because
everybody knows Durant, Harden, Westbrook.
But
fine,
those guys are so like if they kept even Sabonis or they kept even fucking Jeremy Grant. I mean, they need it. They are the one team that I feel so bad for from these last 10 seasons because they should have as many rings as like the Golden State Warriors.
I'm assuming it's because of Scott Brooks.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
He was
yeah.
the coach for many of those years, wasn't he?
It's gonna
Oh,
be
you
because
mean
of the it's gonna be because of
what's
the
Scott
coaching.
Brooks the
and-
coach in OKC?
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Pretty sure. I would look that up, but
I'll look it up.
I think he was the
I know they had Rick Carlisle for a while. Or was it
Okay.
Scott Brooks? Oh, yeah. You know, you're absolutely right. 2008, 2015, it was OKC. And then Rick Carlisle took over. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It was Scott Brooks for a lot of that.
So he just fucked that up. So
And now he's in Washington fucking them up.
so here's the thing.
He just needs to be gone. He just needs gone.
I just think when you had KD, like when you had all those 3 players, I think you needed to nip that in the bud. Like I don't think he realized I don't think any of us realized how good they would truly meant to be. But if
you could guess. You could guess.
why couldn't you keep them long enough for a ring at least? You know what I mean? And then they go their separate ways. It's just amazing. And to hear that roster and to figure out that there's only one guy left on that team is
Honestly, let's just say the what the fuck moment of the century is the OKC.
At least of the decade.
Not even trading away Babe Ruth, not even Brady leaving. It's OKC fucking up their whole entire fucking system for years. Oh my god.
It's remarkable to see that talent and to see what they have left. But what they have left is all of the draft capital in the world. They have 1 million draft picks because they dished all these guys
Well, you
away.
know what?
So
You know what? So
Yeah.
in the future, we may see an OKC team that has some of the best players in the future that we don't even know about. Bronny,
Yep.
I don't know. Some of the younger guys
Yeah.
that are coming up.
Yeah, agreed.
who knows?
Very
Who
true.
knows? But yeah, pretty crazy.
Great
But yeah,
week.
no, this was a hell of a day of podcast.
It was a hell of a day, boys. John, thank you for the NHL cover up, and Justin, thank
Always.
you for your stat of the week and everything you contributed today. As always, if you made it this far, you like something, please like and subscribe. Boys, it's been a pleasure as always. And
Always.
It has been real, boys.
And,
Talk to you later, man.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you boys next
Peace.
week.
That's good.
Peace.